Hey everybody, I wanted to give a quick demo of a couple of new merge field codes that we have introduced that some of you might find helpful, and they really pertain to displaying or merging dates within a transaction. So let me go ahead and point out a couple of um, these to you. So the first one involves the transaction events merge field code, and that merge field code historically would print out every date within a transaction. So the effective date or mutual acceptance date, the closing date, and then all of the dates listed below. This was helpful, but many times you're tracking dates that you don't necessarily want your agent or the buyer and seller to see when you're creating an email. And so we've created two new merge field codes that only pull the dates that are either on the buyer and seller portal or on the agent portal. So to demonstrate this, before I do, I want to point out how this setup is here. We obviously have an effective date. We've got this buyer and seller portal date that's visible on the portal, the buyer and seller portal only. This one is visible on the agent portal only. And then the final two are visible on both portals. So those should appear in all the lists. So to demonstrate this, I'm just going to pop into a new email, and then I'll make this full screen and we can kind of take a look at some of these merge field codes. So the first one is transaction events. Now this one has always been here, and this of course prints out every date within an email, which makes it easy to do. Now the new one, or these two new ones, are first the agent portal. So you'll notice this is going to show only those dates that are listed on the agent portal. This one here, and then of course financing and closing on both, so those appear. And then just to round out this demo, I will show the next one, the buyer and seller portal. And of course, this one are only dates that the buyer or seller could see on their portal. Now, this doesn't mean you have to turn on the portals. It just simply means it's going to display the dates. If they were to view the portal, these are the dates that they would see. So it allows you to sort of dissect these a little bit more when creating emails. Now, I mentioned there's a couple other date merge field codes that we've introduced, and they really involve suffixes to existing dates. So what do I mean by that? If I type in closing date, you'll see now I have four options. One is the traditional closing date. This would list obviously the date itself in whatever format you've chosen in the settings, and then it will display the time as well. But sometimes to be a little more conversational, you might want to end up using the start date itself, which omits the time. And then you could say, which has been scheduled at, and then you could use the closing date start time at 1 p.m. So that might help you. And then we also have this formula icon, or this formula suffix, which sometimes you might want to use. This particular formula is 20 business days, right? So you could have something like the closing date has been scheduled for, and then if you can't remember, you could say, okay, I'm going to use my closing date for 20 business days after it's the finance date. So this is sometimes helpful if your informational emails always call for how many days after that it's needed, then you can use that formula merge field code. And then last but not least, some people have had questions about this. When you're doing merge field codes and you want to merge the contact for the side that you are on, like typically, you would do seller first name, or you might do buyer first name. Of course, there is no buyer. That's why it's not coming up. A lot of times you want to use a merge field code that picks the buyer or the seller depending on the side of the transaction. So all you have to do is, instead of saying seller first name, you would just use first name by itself. And that's going to automatically know you're on the sell side, so it's going to pick John. And so that's how you would do that. There's also another merge field suffix. If I do seller and then card, this is going to print out everything for that particular contact. So this is John Doe and Jane Doe, and you can see that information there. Now, if you want to have that sort of duplicity deal where it picks the buyer or seller, just simply write card itself, and that would automatically know I'm on the sell side, so I need to choose whichever my sellers are and make a card out of those particular contacts. So anyway, as you guys create your email templates, these new merge field codes may come in handy. Just wanted you to know about them. All right, thanks.